The Impact of Mercury by Penelope Morrow. Mercury. Mercury's color is silver white. Its state of matter at room temperature is liquid. Its density is 14.184 g/centimeters cubed. Its melting point is negative 38.83 degrees Celsius. Its boiling point is 356.7 degrees Celsius. It does not have an odor. Its texture is like liquidy. It does not burn, so it's not flammable. And it is not very reactive. So there are very, very, very few things that mercury will actually react with. Periodic table info and Bohr-Rutherford diagram. Mercury has 80 electrons, 80 protons, and 121 neutrons. It is a metal, period 6 and group 12 on the periodic table. And here is just a diagram that I found on the web. Using chemicals safely. Mercury can be a very dangerous chemical. That is why scientists have to take many precautions when working with it. For starters, they have to wear special glasses at all times to prevent chemical from getting in their eyes. They also have to wear lab coats, closed-toed shoes with their hair tied back, as well as a pair of gloves. But these are just the basics. When handling mercury, they have to work in small closed spaces to prevent the spreading of vapors. The WHMIS symbols you may see on a container of mercury would be D1, D2, and D3. Grassy Narrows and the issue affecting it. Grassy Narrows is a First Nations reserve located northeast of Kenora. It has a population of 971. It seems quaint and very pretty, but it's not so secret. Over 90% of the population has mercury poisoning. This is from the water supply being polluted. How did mercury end up in the water supply? Which is something you may be asking yourself. The Dryden Chemical Ltd. Dumped mercury into the English Wabigoon River system, which was the system that got people in Grassy Narrows their water. This means that people were drinking it and washing them and their clothes in it. The crazy thing is that mercury was being dumped so many years ago, around 1962 to 1970, and people are still being affected by this. What impacts does mercury have on Grassy Narrows? This has major effects on Grassy Narrows, as like I mentioned before, people use water for everything. In fact, it is essential in our lives. So imagine if all the water you use in your life had an invisible poison in it, and from that you were slowly getting sicker and sicker, and you didn't know why. In Grassy Narrows, this was a reality for almost a decade, until more regulations were put on the use of the river, but people are still getting sick. Fishing was also banned in 1970, which had a major impact on the community as that was one of the main sources of income. So what is being done to address the issue in Grassy Narrows? In 1986, there was a settlement agreement with the provincial and federal government, White Dog and Grassy Narrows, which created the Mercury Disability Fund, where ministers funded people with poisoning. In 2017, an $85 million plan was set to restore the lake and build a medical center in Grassy Narrows. Now, people are also protesting the Canadian government and their treatment of reserves as well. Personal reflection. I believe water quality should be protected in Canada because we use water for everything. It's a priority in our lives, something we need. Why shouldn't our government think the same? Safe water should be a human right, not only in Canada, but everywhere in the world, and it should be a duty for the government to check the water quality to make sure things that happen in Grassy Narrows never happen again. Thank you for watching, and these are my sources.